I think Kansas City is a wild card team, and Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers, now they have their running back situation and offensive tackle set, upgraded receiver. Last year, the only thing they were missing was juice offensively. Their defense finished almost near the top of the league. It went from last to near first in 1 year. They built the culture last year, but free agency and a draft, and you know Harbaugh's good at the draft. I think they're going to be one of the better teams in the league. I think they're an 11-12 win team, and the Chiefs come into the season, which would concern me, with offensive line issues. So I like the Chargers to win the division.
You're going to think I'm nuts. Daniel Jones leads the Colts to the playoffs.
All right, well, we'll talk about that later. Chargers winning the AFC West over Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs fans are just devastated because everyone knows how accurate Colin Cowherd's predictions are. He's pretty good. But, yeah. I'm trying to think about this in real time, how exactly I want to handle this, because I really want to make a Chiefs video and I guess make a Chargers video. But, listen, I'll start with the Chiefs and we'll see where this goes. I understand there's concerns about the Chiefs and O-line and this. I don't understand why people are acting like we're about to see the Chiefs have like the worst O-line in the history of the NFL. Or even if it was a really bad O-line, that Andy Reid, literally the greatest coach of all time, with Patrick Mahomes, an unbelievable quarterback, that they wouldn't be able to find a way to minimize some of the harms that a bad O-line could come across, right? I mean, think about some of these other teams. Actually, I'm going to go, let's do this. Let's look at some of the quarterbacks who were pressured at an incredibly rate. We know the CJ Strouds, Caleb Williams, and let's look at this real fast then. So, let's just look at the quarterbacks that dealt with the most amount of pressure, because to me that's what ends up really mattering the most in that regard, right? It's is the pressure getting to the quarterback? And we got Geno Smith. That's Geno Smith, Seattle, young head coach, some limited weapons per se, but they were in it. I mean, like they were flirting with getting to the playoffs. It's not like they just completely collapsed and were just no man's land. Joe Burrow had an awful O-line, was pressured a tremendous amount, had an inconsistent run game, and had some two great weapons, obviously, terrible defense, and still lit up the NFL offensively. And if their defense was just even remotely competent, they clearly win the playoffs. And quite frankly, if their defense was just, if we could just say, oh, their defense is pretty good, you can make the argument that they win the division. I don't think that's that big of a stretch. Caleb Williams, rookie quarterback, fired head coach, disastrous of a coaching situation, and there was a lot of winnable games for them. I mean, they could have beat the Detroit Lions. They should have beaten the Commanders. I mean, like I'm not gonna act like if this team was sneaky, actually good. But my point is that if this team was better coached and had a better quarterback, you could make the argument that they were also going to be, flirting with the playoffs. Dare I say, wild card, right? Sam Darnold, they bought out. Their O-line wasn't as bad. Their O-line was kind of split because of some injuries and whatnot. So it was like part good, part bad. CJ Stroud, obviously not a clean year. Not a great O-line. Also pretty inconsistent run game, depending on how you want to blame it. Probably more from a coaching standpoint than an actual Mixon standpoint. Weapons injured all over the place, but again, still a threat, able to beat Justin Herbert and the Chargers and whatnot. And then it brings us to Patrick Mahomes. So even if we want to say, man, this O-line is a mess, and it's actually going to be so bad that we're going to say it's like CJ Stroud and Caleb Williams level bad. And not a lot of people talked about it from Joe Burrow's perspective, but here we are, or even Geno Smith. And we're saying that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid won't be able to somehow minimize any of that. that it's going to be the same thing as I forget the coordinator for who the OC was for Geno Smith last year off the top of my head, and Zach Taylor with Joe Burrow, and whoever the heck was the offensive coach for the time being, because he had multiple with Caleb Williams. I mean, come on, seriously, and then and Bobby Slowick with C.J. Stroud, like we're saying that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, like, and this is only in the scenario where like their O-line is really bad, like there's like the true concerns of like Colin's worst fears are true. I mean, just think about how people really highlighted just how, people really leaned on the fact that their O-line was bad, especially after they got rocked in the Super Bowl. But yet, they still beat the Texans. And that Texans pass rush absolutely got after Justin Herbert. He was pressured more times than Patrick Mahomes was in the Super Bowl. And think about how there was limited harm against the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game. Like the true O-line issues for the Chiefs really didn't rear its head until they faced the Philadelphia Eagles, who were clearly the best team in the NFL, who were clearly a dominant team. Like that's obvious. So that's where I'm kind of just like, And I do think this division will be harder. And I do think that the Chargers are going to be a great team. I think this division is going to be awesome. I think that I'm excited to watch all 4 teams. I really am. And I do not just think like, oh, of course the Chiefs are going to win. Like I reject that logic when it's like, well, they win every year. Like that is the most obnoxious take I could ever hear. I mean, it really is. So it's not like I'm disputing this and I'm going to make a Chargers video talking about like, hey, this is what Colin's predictions are. And I'll look at it more from the Chargers lens, but it's going to be, if you want to sell the Chargers, it's more about the Chargers and not so much about the weakness of the Chiefs, because I'm confused why we think that the Chiefs are suddenly going to fall apart. If it wasn't Andy Reid, even if it was just Patrick Mahomes, I'd understand. And if it was just Andy Reid and no Patrick Mahomes, I'd understand. But when you have the duo, when you have the 2 biggest check marks that you need for your roster, you're going to be able to find some ways around it. Is it ideal? Are you going to be as great as you could be? Of course not. Of course not. But I do believe, if we go back to this list, if you put Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid on the Seahawks, not on the Bengals, because Joe Burrow, I mean, there was nothing else Joe Burrow could have done there. But with, the Chicago Bears, the Texans, I mean, really just those top 3 teams in this, random top 5 here. Yeah, I mean, it's of course Andy and Mahomes would be doing better in those situations. I do wholeheartedly believe that, and yet those teams and quarterbacks still had success despite not being as great or having as great of a either head coach or coordinator. And so we're just going to say that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid can't somehow elevate. I'm struggling to see that be the case. I really just, then it's just like, then what are we saying? Are we saying, like, you're essentially then saying that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid don't contribute to the success then? Like, it's just, we just can't make up our minds when we want to credit the roster, credit weapons, credit the quarterback, credit coaching. Everybody just picks and chooses when we want it to matter. And it's just like, I don't know. I mean, listen, I understand if you want to say, listen, I don't know if they'll be good enough to win the Super Bowl or this. And it's not like he's saying that they're trash, right? He's saying that they're a wild card team. But I get that. And I think it's totally fair. I mean, I at the heart of it, I think it's a fair take to have. I want to be clear about that. But I guess it's just the way, I guess some of the reasoning I just kind of fail to see, specifically the O-line. In that regard, I look at it more from the impression of the Broncos are better now than they have been. The Chargers are better now than they have been. Right, like the NFL as a whole, from my viewpoint, really feels like it is better quarterbacked and better coached at this point. And so to me, and I keep saying this recently now, is that I feel as though the floor of the NFL is greatly risen. When I'm going through all these they always are randomly showing us the schedules of teams, whoever we're talking about. And it's just like, it used to be very easy to be like, well, that's an easy game. That's an easy game. That's an easy game. And now that I go through the list, I'm like, well, the Patriots, I don't know. You know, they should be a lot better. And it's like the Jaguars is like, well, yeah, I mean, they should be a lot better. The Bears, well, yeah, they should be a lot better. I mean, you go through all the teams and you're like, yeah, all these teams should legitimately be better. Now, how does it bear out? I don't know. What coaches actually end up being like legitimately, you know, good to great coaches, and what coaches completely just, wow, I thought that guy was going to be a lot better, but it turns out he's not. You know, same thing with quarterback. It's like, maybe Trevor Lawrence really is just a lost cause and not good. So it's just like, it is still a wait and see type of situation. But yeah, I see as just the NFL is kind of catching up with each other rather than just like the Chiefs are in trouble because of all of said issues, I guess. So, but those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Kansas City Chiefs not winning the division, still making the playoffs, but not winning the division, and the Chargers taking the AFC West? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.